What's up, y'all? This is another video that I did not want to make. However, we have lost another locksmith. And this one's actually been more publicized than the Randy Stewart thing. Again, I don't know this gentleman, David Long, but as many of you have probably already seen, he was involved with an eviction where a mom was trying to kick out her son in Vero Beach, Florida, with the Indian River Sheriff's Department, which one of them lost their lives and another one got shot. This happened Friday, and David was along there to presumably rekey the house for the mother. I have some problems with this one. The last one, Randy Stewart in North Carolina, I was actually going to be making an update soon on that because last I checked, the person who killed him is due in court on December 1st, which is just like next week. However, this popped up Friday. I thought about talking about it then, but he was hospitalized, and then apparently last night he ended up passing away from his injuries in this shooting. Again, I have a lot of problem with this one because the sheriff's deputies, this shouldn't have gone like this. Apparently the mom was out of the house. I watched a little bit of the briefing, which I'll put here.
Our civil unit went out to 1137 Governor's Way in Bermuda Club, Somerset Bay, to serve an eviction. A resident of the home was evicting her son, a guy by the name of Michael Halberstam, born in '88. Our deputies and a locksmith were on scene in an effort to evict him. Court process, court paperwork, move him out of that house. While they were in the entryway, having just made entry into the home, Mr. Halberstam retrieved a weapon, and he began indiscriminately firing at our deputies on scene. We had 3 deputies there. Deputy Tino Arisby has been with us for 25 years. He was shot in the shoulder. He retreated into the garage. Deputy Terry Sweeting Mashkow, 47 years old, 25 years and 16 days of service with the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, made the ultimate sacrifice today and was killed in the line of duty inside of that residence. Their sergeant was also on scene. He was not injured. He did fire. Deputy Arisby fired. As we continue through the investigation, we'll know if Deputy Terry Sweeting Mashkow ever fired her weapon or not. The locksmith that was on scene is currently in surgery in critical condition. The bad guy is currently in surgery in critical condition. Our team has been meeting with family members of all these folks to notify them of this awful tragedy.
So in that briefing, basically, it said that the mother was not in the house at the time. So what I don't understand about the whole situation, first off, is why he was in the house. Why didn't they remove this kid, I say kid, but apparently he was born in '88, but he was living with mom, just fired from UPS. He ended up getting shot by the deputies as well. There were 3 deputies and 1 locksmith there. Again, I don't know why the locksmith was in line of fire. If they were there getting this kid out, they had mom out of the house. Why wouldn't David have been not in that house until they got this kid out? This sounds like a barricaded person suspect.
Our bad guy has a 2006 narcotics charge and a 2015 misdemeanor assault charge, both out of Virginia. Our real-time crime center has been working on finding more information about this suspect. They've identified some strange posts on social media. They've identified that he was fired from UPS, that he made some terrible comments about them, and that he had been posting some negative items about the Indian River County Sheriff's Office on his Facebook page. This is not someone that was on our radar. This is not somebody that we were actively engaged with. This was a standard call for service. This is the everyday call, the eviction, the regular duties that our deputies bravely do every day in and out.
This could happen to any of us at any time. It's very unfortunate, of course, that the deputy lost her life and that David ended up dying from it as well yesterday through the whole weekend worth of surgeries and stuff. So that sounds terrible on its own. I just don't understand why he kind of was in the line of fire during this. Why wouldn't they have removed this person by force if necessary and then had him come in to change the locks? Mom here is another person to blame for this. Why wouldn't the mother say, oh, there's firearms in the house?
Did the gunman have a legal right to own a handgun, or as a convicted felon he should not have had a gun?
Through our initial investigation, again, we are very early on in this investigation, we see nothing that would preclude him from having a weapon at this time.
He's unstable. They had been, this is why, because one of the reports says that they had 7 calls for service to this house, all for this person within the last month. And then you're going to treat this as a standard call.
This was a standard call for service. We've had 7 calls to this residence all this month. Nothing before that. Almost all of them from the mother calling about him and her decision to ultimately evict him.
After you knew that, it's not a standard call when you've had 7 incidents to the same house. Did they, during those previous incidents, did they not find out whether there were firearms in the house? None of this kind of makes sense. But long story short, this is just a video that I felt that I had to do because, again, I was just checked a few days ago prior to this happening, which was last Friday. Today's Monday when I'm filming this, right before Thanksgiving. And he's been a locksmith in that area for well over 30 years, apparently, because on a few of the news stations, I see people saying, yeah, he's taken care of my property for 30 plus years. Again, a long-time locksmith that probably was pretty bonded with his community. And then this happens. I'm sure he had a good working relationship with the sheriff's department. But again, I don't understand why they were treating this as a routine call with a 7-count history. I would never treat that as a routine call or a standard call for service when they had been out there 7 whole times. And this is like a right on the ocean, nice neighbor brand, almost looks like a brand from an overhead view. It looks like a brand new neighborhood. Why would they not deal with the person and then have the locksmith come in? Back in 2020, during the whole pandemic thing, I rather infamously posted that I was not going to be doing evictions anymore. Never thought, when I posted that, I never thought that what happened would happen with that tweet. I even had a Inc.com article written up about it. But we don't really do now. You're going to stop me and be like, wait, I just saw a video you posted a while back about, with sheriffs. That was a kind of a one special circumstance situation, which they had a lot of officers on scene. And it was a little bit different than what this seems to be. This seems to be like a family domestic. And the kid has been making a post on social media about he's been fired from UPS, so he's been making posts against the same sheriff prior to this, apparently, and this all still was able to happen. So I hate to blame people in situations like this, but to me, I feel like the sheriff's department shouldn't have done it the way they did with that many calls, just based on that many calls to the house, knowing that this person was a problem. I feel bad for the family. I'm sorry for the family. David has a wife. I'm sure he has extended family. One of the posts on one of the Facebook news articles was his niece or something like that. So yeah, he has an extended family, and married, and apparently still a mom. They've been, posting this picture with his mom on some of the news things. So two locksmith deaths in 2025. It's not been a great year for the locksmith world. Maybe it's happened just as much in the past years, and I'm kind of becoming older and more cognizant to situations like that. But just guys and gals who are in our position that do what we do, it just makes you have a reality check. Sheriff's Department needs to really investigate why this was treated as a standard call for service and had another civilian locksmith, contractor, whatever you want to call him, kind of in the way without securing the person in the house that is being physically removed. I don't understand why that would have happened. I feel like there was a big failure there with the law enforcement agency. I'm sorry this happened. There is a GoFundMe. I'll put a link in the description, and apparently it was approved by the family. So if you're so inclined to donate, there's a GoFundMe link in the description. I'm sorry to the family of David Long and friends and customers. So just makes you think twice about taking certain calls. I always call it kind of my spidey senses or whatever. It's like, if you feel like something's wrong, don't take the call. It's not worth the money. And y'all be careful out there. I don't want to make another one of these videos. Just don't. Be careful. Don't let that happen.